Okay, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about something that, well, pretty much every college student has felt at some point, that feeling of trying to focus when it feels like the whole world is designed to distract you. So, in this explainer, we're going to go from feeling totally overwhelmed to feeling empowered. We'll break down the real challenges, look at the systems out there to help, and most importantly, give you strategies that you can use to really take back control of your own learning. So, does this sound familiar? I mean, really. You walk out of a lecture, your head is just spinning with all this information, and you already feel like you're falling behind. This this is that classic welcome to college moment, right? It's that sinking feeling in your stomach that makes you think, "Man, maybe I'm just not cut out for this." But here's the thing, what if that's not just a feeling? What if there's some actual hard data that explains what's going on? All right, just look at this number. 47 seconds. That's it. A researcher at UC Irvine, Gloria Mark, found that this is the average amount of time we spend looking at any one screen before our brain just jumps to something else. We're talking less than a minute. So think about that. When you're trying to sit through a 90-minute lecture, yeah, no wonder it feels like an impossible uphill battle. And this is the big takeaway here, okay? If you're struggling with this, it is not just you. It's not a personal failure. It has nothing to do with not having enough willpower. It's a universal challenge, something that's been studied and documented. The problem isn't you. It's the crazy, hyper-connected world we're all trying to learn and live in. Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we've got to start with the basics. We need to understand the actual words, the language that schools and professionals use when they talk about these challenges. Knowing the lingo is pretty much the first step to getting the right kind of help. All right, let's kick things off with a big one, executive functioning. The easiest way to think about it, it's like the CEO of your brain. It's the part that manages everything. Planning that big term paper, organizing your study schedule, even just knowing when it's time to go ask a professor for help. So when that CEO, that management system is overworked or struggling, well, everything just feels so much harder. Okay, next up is a term I'm sure you've heard before, learning disability. But let's look at the official definition because it's really important. This has nothing to do with how smart you are. It's about having a real significant difficulty in a specific area, like reading, writing, or math. And it's thought to be connected to the way a person's brain is wired. And of course, we have to talk about ADHD. And look, it's so much more than just being easily distracted. It's a neurodevelopmental disorder. That means it's about a consistent, long-term pattern of inattention or hyperactivity and impulsivity that really gets in the way of everyday life. But here's where it gets really interesting. Sometimes the signs of ADHD can look a lot like something else. Check out this table. It does a fantastic job of clearing up a really common mix-up. For example, look at boredom. Someone who's intellectually gifted might get bored when a class isn't challenging enough. But for someone with ADHD, that feeling of boredom can pop up in all kinds of different situations. Or how about high activity? For a gifted person, it's usually focused on a goal. With ADHD, it can be more random. See the difference? Getting these distinctions right is absolutely crucial for finding the right support. Okay, so maybe some of that sounds familiar. The big question is, what do you do about it? Let's get into the practical stuff, how to actually navigate the system in college to get the help you need. Listen up, because this is probably the single biggest change from high school to college. In K through 12, the school has to find students who need help. It's their job. But when you get to college, that responsibility completely flips over to you, the student. You are the one who has to start the conversation. You have to ask for help. Basically, you have to become your own best advocate. And this whole process thing, it's not meant to be a big, scary battle. It's actually designed to be a conversation. It's literally called the interactive process. It's pretty simple, really. Step 1, you make the request. Step 2, you and the school actually talk about it, what's going on, what might help. And step 3, you get a decision. If you think of it like a team effort, it suddenly feels a lot less intimidating. Now, sometimes you might need a formal assessment. And I know that sounds like a big deal, but really all it is a way to get a complete picture of what's happening. It usually breaks down into 4 parts. First, a diagnostic interview, just talking about your experiences. Then some cognitive tests to see how you think. After that, some academic tests to check on things like reading or math. And finally, they'll look at how you process information. Each step is just a piece of the puzzle to figure out exactly what kind of support will work best for you. So, going through the official channels is super important for sure. But don't forget, there is so much you can start doing for yourself, like right now. So, let's talk about building your own personal toolkit for success.
So, what can you actually do starting today to make a real difference? Because a ton of the power here isn't just with the school, it's with you.
First up, master your time and your tasks. Don't let them master you. Put everything with a due date into a calendar. Everything. Got a huge project? Break it down into baby steps. Don't think write a 10-page paper. Think find 3 sources. Then write the outline. Then write the first paragraph. See? And oh my gosh, this last one is a total game changer. Read the rubric before you start writing. It's literally the roadmap telling you exactly how to get a good grade. Next, you've got to build your perfect study space. Your brain loves habits, so find one place, a specific desk, that one chair in the library, and use it only for studying. That's it. And I absolutely love this next tip. Keep a distraction pad next to you. When your brain goes, oh, I got to remember to buy toothpaste, don't try to push the thought away. Just jot it down on the pad and immediately get back to your work. Genius. And finally, and this is a big one, you have to learn to advocate for yourself. It's a skill you build. A great way to start? Go to your professor's office hours in the first week of class. Just pop in and say hi. I promise it makes it a million times easier to ask for help later on if you need it. And use the stuff your tuition is paying for. The tutoring center, the writing lab, disability services. They're literally there waiting to help you. Okay, so building that personal toolkit, that's empowering. But the real foundation, the bedrock of all of this, is knowing your actual legal rights as a student. And let's make one thing crystal clear. Equal access to an education is a right. It is not a privilege. It's a civil right protected by law. It's not some special favor the school decides to do for you. It's the law. This right here gets to the absolute heart of it. Schools must make reasonable modifications. So what does that mean? Well, it could be getting more time on a test. It could be getting a copy of the lecture notes. The whole point is to give you an equal shot at success, just like every other student in that classroom. And we need to bust a huge myth right now. Accommodations are not an unfair advantage. Not at all. They are about creating fairness. They're about removing the obstacles so that your grade reflects what you actually know, not how well you can navigate a system that might not be built for the way your brain works. It's all about leveling the playing field. So here's the bottom line. Think of your education as a partnership. The college has its part to play, absolutely, but so do you. You have rights and you have the power to create your own strategies. So the only question left is, are you ready to be an active, powerful partner in your own success?